Welcome to David Powers, and he's an adventurer, philosopher, and pioneers and a life of contact experimentation. So we want to know the 5 steps how the skills from the military can be translated into entrepreneurship and a little bit more about David. He fulfills his purpose through speaking books, and he's a best-selling author in psychology and education. Wow. And he's a decorated veteran and of the Marine Corps and founding member of the U.S. Department, wow, of Homeland Security. So, David, tell us, um, what are the 5 key things from the military that can be applied to entrepreneurship and why?
Welcome to Entrepreneurs Are Leaders podcast with Harry Sardinas. Interviews with world's most influential entrepreneurs that share tips about how to grow your business exponentially. Charismatic speaking, leadership, branding, marketing strategies designed to help you monetize your knowledge, find true happiness, and manifest your goals and dreams.
Oh man, so narrowing that down to 5 is a little bit difficult, but I'll do it. I'll do it for the audience. So number one, I mean, the first thing people think about with the military is discipline, and so that's got to be the obvious number one for me. And the thing of it is, I was disciplined before I went into the military, and thought I was just top level. You know, I thought I was it, and then I went in the military, and I realized discipline is easy when you're doing something you want to do, because you're properly motivated, you're determined. What I found out that the military taught me about discipline that really comes back to business is you can really tell how disciplined you are when you have to do something you don't want to do, or something that's unsavory, or something that is not a strength. And so that's one of the things it taught me was discipline has to carry through all aspects of life. It can't just be the things you enjoy. And so I learned that it sharpened the discipline the foundation I'd built, and added that button to it that when it's something you don't want to do, you still got to be disciplined. And so that's the first one. The second one, organization. I mean, the U.S. military it's really nothing but a huge machine of living parts, but millions of parts. And then when you add in all the computer programs and the trucks and the weapons and everything else, it's hard to keep organized. And that's one thing I learned. And just like discipline, I was organized before I went. And I'm a bit of a nerd about being organized. I'm not OCD, but I'm very close to it. Everything's got to have its place. And so I found out in the military, just new ways to do that, though, that made things work for me. It's one thing to be organized. I mean, my books on the shelf behind me are exactly where I want them to be. They're exactly where I know where to find them, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're useful. And so I've learned, that's one of the things I learned in the military about organization was making it effective. Effective organization was something I took. And that translated, I mean, that's obviously a translation straight to business. I mean, that's a class in an MBA program right there, is just organization or organizational leadership. I mean, just all the things that you need with that. And so that's number 2. Number 3, and this one may sound weird, as if something that is a good thing. But number 3 for me that I took to business was mission first, people second. So many people nowadays, they focus on the people before the mission. And I'm not saying you don't need to focus on the people. I'm not saying your people aren't a priority at some point. But honestly, if you're not focusing on the mission, the business can't exist. And it was the same way with the military. Of course, the military is, in a sense, it's a business where there are casualties. And if you put the people first to the point where there are never any casualties, never any injuries, never any danger, you would never accomplish any missions. And so in business, I realized that sometimes it translates in different ways, but sometimes you just got to focus on the mission first, people second. And, you know, whether that means, look, let's get the job done now. Let's get this product out. Let's get this book published. And then we'll take a break. We'll rest. We'll recuperate. We'll rebuild. But other times, though, I kind of follow the Jim Collins philosophy in Good to Great, in that as you focus on the mission, you might find that some people are just on the wrong bus. They're in the wrong business. And so mission first also helps to expose people that would be happier somewhere else, would be better served somewhere else, and your business would be better for them thriving somewhere else. And so mission first helps you find that out. The next lesson, the fourth lesson for me, is making do with what you have. And I was in the Marine Corps, and one of the things about the Marine Corps is it's not as bad now, but used to, it was so we got the last of everything. We got the trucks and the vehicles and the weapons and everything that nobody else wanted, or we got their leftovers, or we had to, I won't say steal, but we had to liberate other people's vehicles and equipment and things sometimes. And so we had to make do with what we had. And it made us tougher. It made us stronger. It made us more nimble. And it's the exact same way in business. I work with a lot of clients that they'll just jump right out and invest $20,000 in building out a perfect home office before they ever make the first penny. And what I tell them, I mean, because I help moms and dads escape the corporate world mainly and come home. Home entrepreneurs, small businesses, things like that. They might start from home and build something bigger, but it's always coming home at some point. And I tell them, just work with what you have. Build that business off of a laptop for now. And then as you get profits and money come in, you build it bigger, but you make do with what you have. And it's amazing what the Marine Corps is able to do with that. It's amazing what a small entrepreneur who's scrappy can make do with almost nothing sometimes. I mean, nothing but a laptop and a coffee shop to go hang out at. And then the last one for me that's very important is the team. And it might sound weird saying this after I told you not to focus on the people first, but you do need to realize that you can't do it alone. In the military, in the Marines, our smallest unit was a 6-man fire team, 6 men. And we could accomplish anything with a 6-man fire team. Take over the world with a 6-man fire team. And so, you know, I help these moms and dads come home and start their own businesses. And I do want them to realize, make do with what you have for now. But when the time comes that you need more help, you need to scale up, you need to do something new, do something different, make for more time in your personal life, you are going to have to bring in a team. That might start with just a VA somewhere that's going to free you up for a lot of stuff. And there's no telling what that team may look like or what they may help you do, but teamwork, that's the fifth one, is you've at some point you've got to have a team. And even if you're a solopreneur, it's that family at home that's supporting you. That's your team. And at least until you start adding more team members to the business. So that's, for me, that's my top 5 that I bring from military to the business world.
Being at service, David, and you're a great example. You see, first you're at service, defending your country, and now you're at service of mom and dad struggling in the corporate world and giving them some freedom so they can spend more time with their family, friends, children, people that they love. So why do you make all your life about service and serving other people? You know, the translation for service is leadership. Yeah, a leader is someone that serves. Yeah, that's where the word leader come from, to serve other people. Yep. Right? So sometimes people translate that and they don't understand leadership. And in military also, leadership is key, because without that, people die. So you are. So my question is, do you think that you are born leader, or you become leader as life goes on?
No, I'm definitely not a born leader. I am a huge introvert, and that's something I've had to get past, my introvert tendencies to become a leader. And be honest with you, the way I grew up, some abuse in the background from kids I grew up around, bad neighborhoods, that kind of thing. And I was a very, very self-conscious person, low self-esteem, self-conscious growing up. Becoming a leader is something I had to grow into, and mainly by competency, by just becoming better and better and better and better. Now, that doesn't mean I ever get past imposter syndrome 100%. It doesn't mean I ever get to the point where nothing ever bothers me or anything. But yeah, it's definitely not something I was born with. And for most people, it's that way. Very few people would be born a charismatic leader. And most
I
of us have
always
to
say
work
that
hard at
leadership
it.
is a skill. Leadership is a
Yep.
skill. It's like driving a car or swimming. The more you practice, the better you become. It won't
Yeah.
by reading a book about leadership is not gonna is not gonna make you a leader. Leadership, you have to practice exactly what you have done in the military and now taking the leadership, helping families to get closer to the children and to free them for the corporate job. So a lot of people listen this podcast from corporate that want to do the transition for corporate to become entrepreneurs. And most of them they are parents. Um, so what are the advice that you have for these people? Because people think, oh, I want to have my own business. You know, it's going to be amazing. I can fill my own calendar. I can spend more time with my children. But, you know, they don't realize that in business, you cannot say this is not my job. It's not like at work you said, this is not my job and it's okay. In business, everything is your job. And until you get from market fee to your first million, or even to give you a nice lifestyle business. I don't believe that people have to build necessary multi-million pound business, multi-million dollar businesses, but they can have a very good lifestyle business that they can have good money and it's enough for the family. But it's gonna take something.
Oh, yeah.
So it's for everybody. So can you tell us the good, the bad, and the ugly of the transition from corporate to entrepreneur for the people you have been working with?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is not an easy path. I'll say this, because there are times that I'll be honest with you, when if a corporate job popped up, I would jump at it, because the lows are that bad that if I could somehow make it to where I went back to work,
That's
and
funny,
and
yeah.
I had somebody else paying my
They will pay you a lot
insurance.
of
I had a
money, David. They will pay you a lot of
oh
money to you, you know, like with your skills, you know, veteran, with that background in so many jobs, they will pay you a lot of money, right?
oh, absolutely. I mean,
And make you
sometimes what
really
I go through every
comfortable.
day,
And make you really comfortable so you don't leave.
yeah. I mean, what I go through some days, the corporate world seems easy. Yeah, I always tell people when you come home and
So
start your own
why?
business,
So why? Yeah, because at the end of the day, we're not gonna lie to our audience. When you make the business work, it's amazing, right? Uh, I experienced myself that one day I arrived to the office and my team sent me home and told me, Harry, we don't need you here anymore. Go home. We can run this business without you. You just
oof,
sit and make money. You know, we will come to see you once a month to tell you how the business is doing, but you don't need to come here anymore. This happened to me in my business 16 years ago. So I know that it's possible, but it's gonna take something to arrive to this point. So, what do you think about that transition from corporate to entrepreneur, and and if in the lowest you thought, oh, it's better to find a job, so then what happened next? Because like you didn't work for you, you think you do what you do. So tell us how you do with that.
yeah. So I tell everybody when you come home to start your own business, you are starting work with the worst boss in the world, yourself. And the thing is, I mean, especially home office. If you start your own business and have an office away from home, it's easier. I've got a home office, and there are times when you cannot escape work. And the bad thing is if you have some free time, most people at home that have W-2 jobs, they have free time. They just enjoy the free time. If I have free time, I start wondering, should I go back down to the office and work on something else? Like, am I being lazy if I don't? And so, I mean, you have to set boundaries. That's the only way to survive that is by setting boundaries. And like me, when I turn my computer off, whether it's the weekend or the evening, when I turn the computer off in my office, I am done. I'm done. But the bad thing is, there's a laptop upstairs, and so I may still jump on that after the kids go to bed. And so, yeah, the hours, you're going to work more hours than you ever did. But here's the thing. Here's the trade-off. I mean, those are the lows. Working more than ever, worst boss, distractions. Those are the lows. The highs are that I set my own schedule. Right before this podcast, I was upstairs eating lunch with the kids. And we were talking about school, and we were talking about just all kinds of different things with their day. And my kids are homeschooled, so we were actually doing some of the school while we were sitting there eating lunch. And I got to enjoy that. And, there are times when I'll just stop something in the middle of the day and go outside and throw the football with them because they're having fun. It's a pretty day. I'll just put off my work a little bit. I'll work on it later, and I'll go outside and play with the kids. And that's what I like helping mom and dads get back to. But definitely understand that there are some things that are going to be much harder than the W-2 corporate life.
Yeah. And then, David, uh, why you decided to take this path and to help moms like that to start the small businesses? Can you tell us the story, right? How start to work with this?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So I've got 5 kids. And just from the get go, I wanted to spend as much time at home. And there were some early years where I had to work outside the home a lot more. And when I got home, I would realize I missed things, cute things the kids did. And my wife would take pictures and take videos, and I would get to see it, but it wasn't the same. I wanted to enjoy every minute that I could with the kids, not miss the important things. Like this evening, I'm taking one of my kids to football practice. I get to go and watch the football practice and watch him doing things, and he'll turn around and see dad in the stands. Here's the sad thing is that while I'm there, there will be a lot of moms there that brought their kids, but very few dads. Most of the dads are still working. They're missing out. They're not getting to help their kids do better at sports. And and that's no shade on the mom because she's still helping out, doing as much as she can. But dads they really feel that though when their kids are in sports and they can't help them. And so that's what I decided way back that I needed to be my own boss so I could make my own schedule. And that's why I did that. And haven't looked back. It's been several decades.
So look, I have a friend that they have a little girl, and I was visiting him, and he told me, Harry, the 9 to 5 doesn't work for me anymore. And I'm like, he has a corporate job. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he told me, look, this doesn't work for me anymore, the 9 to 5, because um because I need to spend more time with the kid. I need to get the kid to school. So now I have to look for alternative solution because this doesn't work for me anymore. So that was interesting uh, to see that. So Davis, is people are in love with this conversation, how people can find you, how this process works.
Oh, the best place to find me is on my website. It's redteamgoals.com. Red team goals. A red team is something we had in the military where it's called red teaming something. We would go in and actually attack our own troops and test the defenses. We would test the guards, test their programs, things like that. And that's what a red team is. And so for me, a red team goal, and that's why I named the website that, Red Team Goals, it's your life. Why don't you test that life that you've built in the corporate world? Test it and see if it's what you want in 5 years or at the end of your life. Do you want your kids to look back on all the memories and the days that you spent with them? Or do you want them to look back and say, well, dad had a good job and we had a lot of toys? And that's kind of how I look at that.
So something that you learn in the military as a veteran is to be resourceful, right? So it's not that they train you in order for, look, this is what we have, exactly like you described, right? Look, this is the machinery that we have, and this is it. So you have to be resourceful, and and even if you don't have resources, you have to get as much things as you can, and maybe ask for a favor, or do this, or try to, I don't know, to do things because you want the best for your unit, right? And in the military, you cannot say, "Well, I'm sorry, I don't have resources to do this. I'm sorry for me to go there and to do this. You need to give me so much money. I'm sorry." It doesn't work like this, right? They give you a mission, and if you don't have resources, fine. If you don't have resources, that's not you need to find your resources, and
Yep.
nobody's gonna give you anything. They will send you out there, and you have to become resourceful, which is something which is very helpful when you are in business. So tell us, David, what are the challenges that you have with people from corporate, uh, uh, those parents that want to do the transition to become entrepreneurs, but they haven't had the training that you have in terms of leadership, in terms of resourcefulness, in terms of mission first, in terms of discipline. So there are a lot of skills embedded in yourself that it will be very, very difficult that you don't make a business work because you have embedded in your DNA as a veteran most of the skills that the entrepreneur needs in order to succeed, persevere and not give up and so on. However, some of the work come from corporate, they don't have those skills.
Yeah.
And a skill, as we discussed before, is you don't learn in a book. The more you practice, the better you become. So how you deal with training, because also being an entrepreneur is a skill. The more you practice, the better you become. The more you fail, you learn and you continue.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us what are the challenges that you have helping those communities in order to have a home-based businesses or a lifestyle business that with free time for them to spend more time with children. However,
Yeah.
a lot of skills needs to be developed that have nothing to do with the corporate job that they have. So tell us about the challenges and how you become those challenges.
Yeah, so most of my clients, I mean, they get excited once they make that decision that they want to do it. They think, yo, what, I'm just going to quit my job and do it. And I tell them not to. Don't do that. The only way anybody should just quit a job like that is if they have such a huge financial safety net that they could do without a job for a year or two. And very few people have that. No matter how much you make,
Not
very few
even
people
that.
have that.
Not even that, because sometimes the business, if they don't know what they're doing, this money can disappear in 6 months.
Exactly. And so I stage them. I make them do it slow. And so basically, as they leave the job a little bit, they ramp up the business. And so they start it nice and slow. And that way, at some point, usually I like the 50% model. So when you're making about half of what you make in your corporate job, then it's time to go ahead and quit. Because if you can devote that full-time job time to your business and you're already making 50% of your corporate money, it's going to be
Makes
a
sense.
sense that you do it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But in
This
that
is how I
time,
build my business. This is how I build my business. I did it while my job was a room service in the evening, London and Canary Wharf, but I was doing my room service job parallel to building my property business. And
yeah, exactly.
for me, I was so scared that until I was making in a day what I was making in a month, I didn't leave my job. I was so attached to my job because, and all the mistakes that I made building my business, my job paid for it. I remember there were times that I made mistake building my business that I could get the salary today for the Hilton, and next day I had zero. You had to put everything together, 100% to the business because I made a mistake. We had the wrong contractor. They sent me a bill and I overpay because I didn't know a mistake, and that's it. You have to pay, and I was saying, wow, this being a thing is wild. In one day my whole salary of a month disappeared. So it's a little bit scary building this parallel. But I had to say that that's why I handed to the job so much, because every time that I make a mistake, this job was providing the finance to fix it and buy me time to build it, where it's actually very intense because you have to go for work and also build the business on the side. But again, it's so David, um, so last question. There are so we discussed that the life of the entrepreneurs is not everyone. So what message do you have? We discussed before a lot of veterans are either getting positions in politics to make the difference, and you decided to be on the ground working, helping people. However, it came to my attention. Someone, I guess, on this podcast came to me and told me that that is a high suicidal rate among the veterans because after they finish in the battlefield, they lost purpose, and then they put it into the family, and they don't have like a community that they can hang around together. And you guys, only you understand each other in the same way that only entrepreneurs understand each other.
Yeah.
And somebody comes out of that circle to tell us you need to do your business, blah blah, we're not even gonna listen because we know that they don't know the reality. Same thing comes with the battlefield and the veterans. It came to my attention that you guys, when you're together, you support each other, you help each other. Only you understand each other, what you have been through, and only you can heal and help yourself. However, for different circumstances, after the veterans get deployed and come back home, they're getting set out of the blue in the communities. And the community, you have family, you have things going on, you have birthday, you have this, you have that, and then this sense of emptiness and lack of community have created this statistic that came to my attention that have been shared with someone in the podcast that actually is creating something to keep all veterans together, at least that they meet twice a month, something like that, so they stay together. And if somebody's having difficulty, he can find a support group. And so my question to you is, what message do you have to your fellow veterans that they are lost, that they lost purpose? I always say, they can, how many times they ask me to speak in universities to tell them, especially in South America, Harry, please talk about entrepreneurship, because at the end, when they finish university, 50% of them won't be able to find jobs, so they have to create their own business. So give a talk about entrepreneurship, about how to start a business, about to motivate them. And I always say, who's better than me to do these talks? A veteran, right? So the fact that you came that you came from the battlefield, that doesn't mean that you're useless anymore to society. On the other hand, the skill set that you have can be a lot of value to the school, to the community, to the entrepreneurs. So what message do you have to your fellow veterans that they are feeling out of purpose and they're getting depressed, and unfortunately a high number of them with is committing suicide? This is happening right now. It's a problem that we are. And it's all United States. So it came to my attention. Somebody brought it to me because I didn't know about this. A podcast guest as you shared that with me, and I was shocked. And since I shared that with me, I'm so impressed that every time that I have opportunity to speak someone like you, I bring the topic up to see what can we do. So what message do you have for your fellow veterans?
You need to make somebody that knows your experiences, that has been through the same thing, part of your team. And I'm not meaning one of your employees. I mean, find another business owner, small business owner, home business owner, somebody that understands both the entrepreneurial struggle and what you went through in the military, and make a regular meetup, whether it's a mastermind and there's several of you, or it's just two of you that go out for coffee once a month. But you need to have somebody that you can vent to, that you can gripe about all the problems, and that won't judge you for it. I mean, sometimes you get two of us military guys together and all we're going to do is complain. And that's the thing, though. We need to be able to voice those complaints. In any other situation, it would be a negative. But sometimes we have to get that out just with somebody that's not going to say anything other than, yep, yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah, yep. So make that person part of your team, another business owner that's been through a similar situation.
David, we've been fantastic. Thank you so much for being in the podcast. And for all of you following the podcast, Entrepreneurs are Leaders, see you in our next episode. How brave entrepreneurs like David break that wall and make businesses that make the world a better place. Bye for now.
Follow us for more on charismatic speaking, leadership, exponential business growth, branding, marketing, strategies designed to help you monetize your knowledge, find true happiness, and manifest your goals and dreams.